The book of the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 3. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest.
Wow, this is right. Hold on. You waking up. God is calling you. You are the Israelites. God's chosen children. His handful that you wake up out of sleep.
Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to come back to the heavenly Father. Not trying to follow his laws and don't bother. Time to wake up, Jacob. 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 Time to come back to the heavenly Father. Not trying to follow his laws and don't bother. Time to wake up, Jacob. 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 Time to come back to the heavenly Father. Not trying to follow his laws and don't bother. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to come back to the heavenly Father. Not trying to follow any of his commandments, then don't bother. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to wake up, Jacob. Wake up, sons of Jacob. It's time to wake up and make up all of this time. Esau will destroy your mind and your very heritage. The benevolence of these heretics. We own the nation, not desire the Bible, sleeping as evidence. Put together the element. Over Deuteronomy 28 till it makes all the sense in my mind. No pretense to sense on my grind. I can find all the time because I see it all in my mind. While these demons are lying, if you ain't trying to follow the laws of God, get used to the heat of fire. But when the years of the dumb, he said captivity hard to find. Well, I might be losing my mind, or wouldn't you wanna go home to Zion? But the most high is on Israel, is a peculiar people that the most high see through. Every other nation there is no equal. Swift as eagle flying, it's got my people in the street steady dying. But I'm one of the ones of kind. That's why the most high design. From the top to the bottom of the top recline. Coming back to our heritage in time and we trying. So wake up, time to wake up, Jacob. Time to come back to the heavenly Father. Not trying to follow any of his commandments, then don't bother. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to come back to the heavenly Father. Not trying to follow any of his commandments, then don't bother. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to wake up, Jacob.
Wake up, Jacob. Rise like omelette bread, we bake up. Israel nationality, not the ones that they made up. Celebrate our holy days, not the ones that pagans made up. Caesar, who made Christ is that, not the picture they paint up. Nope. So what these heathens talk about? They let us see you with a dark spot. Let your light shine like a parking lot. Your pastor bluffing like a poker side. Law's done away, no they not. We the Jews and they are not. We the chosen and they are not. Yep. And Christ is king, they leave the clock. I said wake up, Jake on the corner stop. I said wake up, Jake on the corner stop. You gotta open the Bible to read. Faith the mustard seed. Take cases, take heed. All in Christ sleep. Know what I'm talking about? It's a real situation when you're dealing with the Lord. The laws ain't furious, the show ain't hard. Keeping the commandments and the love of the Lord. They get married, look for the past like boy. Gone, it's forever I'm home. All back then, but now I'm home. This temporary is not for long. You do and you will see the throne. Yep. So that's what we are striving for. Waking up 144, Monday late and we adios. Yeah. So raise your glass and have a toast. Break bread and keep the most holiday holy, homie.
Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to come back to the heavenly Father. Not trying to follow any of his commandments, then don't bother. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to come back to the heavenly Father. Not trying to follow any of his commandments, then don't bother. Time to wake up, Jacob. Time to wake up, Jacob.
Let people in the Bible is with God. And the churches come out there with people. That's why sometimes like you are the lost things and you are the thirsty God of the game.
Wake up, Jacob.
That's right.
Shalom, Mish Parker.
Shalom.
Asher Shabbat. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shah. and greetings to the 12 tribes of Israel, so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans, and those that are scattered to the four corners of the earth that fit the curses throughout the Bible. Shalom.
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 My name is Yakanan
My
Maccabeus.
name is Chadikia.
My name is Abiyah.
And this is Mikael.
And today's lesson is the importance of identifying and living as Israelites. So what we're going to do is go through the Bible today, and we're going to show you the importance of identifying as Israelites and living as Israelites. And as always, we'd like to start off with the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. The book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. And it reads,
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
so what we're going to do is we're going to go through this Bible. We're going to give you the truth to make you free from the bondage that we're going through, to free your mind from the mental slavery that we're going through, and give you the truth of why it's so very important that we identify as Israelites, and why it's very, very important that we live as Israelites, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments that are your guides through life. From there, we're going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 10. The book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 10.
And it says, For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little, and there a little.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this Bible, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, and there a little. And we're going to give you the importance of us identifying as the Israelites, and why it's important that we live as Israelites, keeping our customs, going back, refining our culture, going back, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and why we should do these things and teach our children our customs.
Come.
From there, we're going to go to the book of Romans, chapter 3, verses 1 through 3. The book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 1 through 3.
Alright, Shalom. What advantage then hath the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly, because that unto them were committed the oracles of Yah.
So the oracles of God, the promises, they were committed unto us as Israelites. That's why it's very, very important that we go back and we identify ourselves as Israelites. That's why it's very, very important that we go back and keep the Most High's laws, because these laws, these customs, the promises, and the blessings are committed to us as Israelites. Read.
For what if some did not believe? Shall their belief make the faith of Yah without effect? So is it whether you believe that you're an Israelite or not, does it mean that the power of Yah is not in effect? No. It's still there. The law, statutes, and commandments are still there. So you have to follow them and live by them.
Okay.
That was, yep, 1, 2, 3.
From there, we're going to go to the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 4. The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 4.
All right, so this is Paul, all right, and Paul writes to his Israelite brothers. This is Romans 9 and 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of Yah, and the promises. We're touching on these verses to show that the Israelites are still relevant. I mean, they're relevant. They're still important, and they're not done away with like most current Christianity teaches. So we're showing you that it is important to still identify as an Israelite if you know you're an Israelite. All right. So that was 4. It shows us then 4 that this Bible was given to us. It pertains to us. The adoption pertains to us, and the covenants with an S pertains to us. So it's still relevant.
And it's good to identify as Israelites. It's relevant that you do, so that we go back to these laws, so that we don't have to endure the curses of these Bibles. Because once you're living inside of these laws, you're living outside of the curses, because you're doing exactly what the Most High ordained you to do. You going back and you living by these laws. You living as a king like you were ordained to do from the beginning. You're living as a king and a priest like the Most High ordained you to do. And if you're going out and you're keeping these laws, and you're teaching the people who are amongst you who are Israelites to keep these laws.
That's right.
And we brought these scriptures out to show that the Israelites are who the Most High chose to be the custodians of the scriptures. Not Islam, definitely not Christianity or these other man-made religions, but the Israelites, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Okay. Our next verse that we're going to go to is going to show that there's a lot of the idea out there that the Israelites are done away with, and that we don't have to follow the Israelite ways of living. Well, throughout this whole entire Bible, every individual lived as an Israelite, whether they were Israelite or not. And even when the strangers sojourned with a Hebrew, the Moses, they had to pick up the customs of the Israelites, or the Hebrews.
Okay.
So here's the next verses.
The book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 1. And it reads, I say then, have God cast away his people?
Has Yah done what?
Has God cast away his people? God forbid.
That's right.
For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
That's right. You see, even Paul, a lot of Christianity runs to Paul for a lot of their doctrines that they push. But even Paul understood, even though his citizenship was a Roman, he understood that his heritage is an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. And that's what we're going through right now in the so-called America. We're so-called Americans, right? Our citizenship is American, but your heritage is not American, all right? Your heritage is Israelite.
And that's interesting that America is the modern day Rome.
That's right.
Verse 2, God hath not cast away his people, which he foreknew. Wot ye not what the scripture saith of Elias, how he maketh intercession to God against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life.
That's the Egyptian queen was killing them off, and that's another topic that we can get into in another lesson.
But Jezebel
was killing them. Yep. So killing the Israelites. So from there, what the main important part was that we wanted to show that Paul, even though he was considered a Roman, he understood who he was in this time frame. And just as we need to do today, we need to understand who we are in this time frame.
From there, we're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1 through 14.
Now, okay, I was going to say, in this part, we're going to show the benefits of,
Slakia. From there, we're going to go to the book of Revelations, chapter 21, verse 12. The book of Revelations.
It's a lot to wait for the sirens. Living in Babylon captivity, something always going on.
It's funny, even if we on the street, sirens always drive by. We set the curve, sirens drive by. The book of Revelations, chapter 21, verse 12. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates.
How many gates?
12 gates.
Okay.
And at the gates 12 angels.
Okay.
And names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 children of Israel. Slakia. The 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
That's right. Now the reason why we brought this out was to show that even in the last book of the Bible, it shows that the gates of heaven, the new heaven, right, is going to have 12 gates with 12 names, and the names are the 12 tribes of Israel. So whether you want to call yourself a Gentile, and not claim your Israelite heritage, you're gonna have to come this route. If you want to get into the new heaven, the new kingdom, you have to identify yourself as an Israelite, or so join yourself with an Israelite. And that's exactly what our brothers in the Bible, our ancestors did. They lived and identified themselves as Israelites because they understood this.
Okay, or they identified themselves with the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's right.
Which was the lineage that was passed down to the Israelites. So it's very, very important that you identify who you are so that you will recognize your lineage and go back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because if you just read the 12 gates, they had the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. There was no gate for the Buddhists. There's no gate for Islam. There was no gate for New World Christian religion. There was no Pentecostal gate. There was no apostolic gate.
Right.
It was written for the 12 tribes of Israel, no more and no less.
And there was no gate with the title Gentile.
Okay.
So not saying that you don't have that opportunity, but I'm saying that there's a lot of Israelites, who are so-called blacks, Hispanics, or so-called Native Americans that don't want to identify as an Israelite.
Okay.
And it's so important that we get you to come back to identifying yourself as an Israelite, understand that you are, and follow the law, statutes, and commandments the way Yahweh the way Yahweh wanted you to be, who his people was going to be. And this is the way you do it, by following this, by obeying.
And we don't want you to go through the wrong gate, the Christian gate, the Muslim gate, because he'll take you to the lake of fire. It's not going to take you to the king.
Okay.
Right.
So we're doing this lesson for your benefit.
That's
Okay.
right.
From there, we're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and we're going to read verse 1 through 14. Salakia. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verses 1 through 14. What was that? The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1 through 14, and it reads, "It shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy Elohim will set thee on high above all nations of the earth."
So now, when it says it shall come to pass, it means in the future. All right, that's future tense. And if you identifying yourself as an Israelite, when you do follow these laws, statutes, and commandments according to the word, you will be set above all nations on earth. And so that's, I just wanted to bring that up. Keep going.
Verse 2, "And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God." Verse 3, "Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of the ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep."
That's right.
Yeah, so if Israel kept their end of the bargain of the old covenant and was faithful to him, obedient to the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, then their kids would be blessed from generations. The fruit of whatever they produce will be blessed.
That's right.
Their cattle and the increase of their kind and flocks of sheep, their livestock will be blessed.
Salakia. Also, we wouldn't have to eat all this tainted GMO food and these mutated animals and all type of crossbred flock that they probably feeding us, and this food with all these dyes and all that stuff that we don't know what we eating. Now we eating stuff that's tainted, but our flocks and our cattle and stuff that we would have had would have been blessed by Yahweh.
That's right.
Exactly.
Verse 5, "Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store."
So our businesses would have been blessed if our fathers did what they were supposed to do.
"Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways.
So we'll be able to defend ourselves also against our enemies. If we was right with the Most High.
Verse 8. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee.
Yep. In our nation of people, there are ones and twosies that make it, but as a nation of people in general, we're facing this right now. We don't prosper as much.
Verse 9. Thy Elohim shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee. If thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord Yahweh and walk in his ways.
We would have been the holy people on this earth. We wouldn't have to go to our enemies to learn the Bible. We would have been, teaching this word the way it's supposed to be.
Okay, if we had just only kept the commandments like we were supposed to do, because they was given to us, so that the other nations should look at us and be like, these people are blessed because they living by the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. These people is who you're supposed to live like.
And unfortunately, most of our people are bywords and proverbs. We're the poster child for homosexuality, for thug life culture, for a lot of our brothers are in prison, copping this mass incarceration. So we're not a set apart people. We're being trodden on.
Okay. Verse 10. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by thy name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee.
See, that's where we should have been. We would have still had our heritage. We would have still have been called Israelites, but now we're being called bywords and proverbs, and we're an astonishment to people now because we're not where we're supposed to be. We're being called all these names that are outside of who we are and our heritage, and we're being called the names that our slave, our conquerors called us when they conquered our people. All right.
Verse 11. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which the Lord swore unto thy fathers to give thee.
So we wouldn't want or need anything. We'll be able to do everything for ourselves, produce our own food, have healthy, strong families. But unfortunately, because of the curses, we're in want and need of everything from our enemies. We can't do nothing for ourselves as a people.
Verse 12. Thy Elohim shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow.
You can definitely see that right now. The individuals that run the banking system, that run the national food chains, they're not our people. And again, we're bringing this out to show that if we were to if we were to did what we were supposed to do, these would have been the blessings that our people would have had. And because our people chose not to follow as Israelites or follow the law, statutes, and commandments according to His word, we're in the situation that we're in now. And even throughout this Bible, you got a lot of people who that don't want to identify as Israelites, and that's why you had the apostles out there, trying to get them back in, to graft them in.
And also, I'd like to say that Esau is exploiting our people also, because when you go to the Israelite communities, you see payday loan businesses set up all over where they give you cash advances because we're always a dollar a penny short, and they charge us like exuberant interest rates, like 20 or 30%, just taking advantage of us. It's just not what the Most High had in store for us. We're supposed to be the lenders, not the borrowers.
That's right.
Because when you're a borrower, you become a servant, you become a slave to the lender.
Verse 13. And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto God, which I command thee this day to observe and do them. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I commanded thee this day to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them.
That's right. Now, the reason we brought this out again is to show why it's so important to identify as an Israelite, or to identify or to follow the law, statutes, and commandments.
And right now, we need to identify as an Israelite so we come out of these wicked religions.
That's right.
You need to come out of this Buddhism or whatever you into, this African spirituality. You need to come out of it. You need to come out of your voodoo, your Santeria. You need to come out of it. You need to come out of Islam. You need to come out of it. You need to come out of this 5% nation, this Moorish science. You need to come out of it. It's time to wake up, Jacob. It's time. Because you're not receiving any other blessing outside of these laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's exactly why we're in the state that we're in right now. And we just read it all for you. If we had just paid attention to this and we had kept all the words and all of these commandments, we would have been on top right now. But right now we the tail. And some of y'all happy being the tail. Y'all don't even want to identify as Israel. Y'all want to be in the Gentile state of mind where y'all can revel. And y'all can celebrate this Christmas. And y'all can celebrate this Easter. And you're going to sit there and drug and be whores and whoremongers.
That's right. And we're going to get to the point where even individuals who were not considered, who were considered strangers, still had to follow the law, statutes, and commandments under the authority of a Hebrew Israelite or Hebrew. All right, and we're going to get to that.
From there, we're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 11 through 11.
Now, this was explained to me. You said this was the current promises, right?
Yes, this is future what's going to happen.
So this is what's going to happen, all right? If we follow the law, statutes, and commandments, correct?
Yes.
All right, so this is what's going to happen if we follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Check it out.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 1 through 11. Slakia.
Two.
Oh, no, one is
Oh, it's 1 to 20? Yeah.
And it shall come to pass, when all these things come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy Elohim hath driven thee, and shalt return unto Yahweh thy Elohim, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Now this is, you got to return. So we're trying to get you back. Come back in, you have to return. All right?
Verse 3, that then thy God, thy Elohim Yahweh, will return thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither Yahweh thy Elohim have scattered thee.
That's right. And that's what's happening right now. You know, we're waking up.
That's right.
A lot of our brothers and sisters are returning back to their heritage, to being an Israelite. And guess what? We're going worldwide with it. We're gathering our brothers from around the world, and that's what's happening right now. So let's do this.
Verse 4, if any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will thy Elohim Yahweh gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee.
He's coming after you, coming to get you guys.
And thy Elohim Yahweh will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers.
Now you have to remember this is past tense, because it said it shall come to pass. All right, so it's still coming. We're still working to get there.
And this is the true restoration of Israel. This custom 1948 doctrine where United States and Great Britain brought the fake Jews to Israel. The Most High is going to bring the real chosen people back to the land. It's going to be in miraculous fashion. The Bible never prophesied about Babylon, the harlot, bringing the Most High shows people back to the land.
You can't go back to a land that you're already in, right?
Right.
So it has to be talking about a completely different people.
Verse 6. And thy Elohim Yahweh will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, and that thou mayest live.
That's right.
So this is the fulfillment of the new covenant, which is not for Christianity, but it's for Judah and Israel.
That's right. And to love Yahweh doesn't mean that you're going to teach your children, just to say, I love God, I'm up in the church doing the praise dancing, we're on the youth choir, we're singing. No, that means that you're going to teach your children to go back and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because according to 1 John 3 and 5, you love your 5 and 3, you love God by keeping the commandments.
Yeah, so we're not living in the new covenant has not been fully executed yet. This is a future event that's going to happen. And in the new covenant, you're still going to be keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. The laws aren't going to be done away with when the new covenant is established also.
That's right.
Verse 7. And thy Elohim Yahweh will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee.
Wait, in Christianity, they teach us that everybody's spiritual Israel and everybody's going to be blessed in the kingdom.
And the Lord thy Elohim will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
So the Most High is going to punish the enemies that oppressed and persecuted Israel upon the kingdom in the last days.
That's right. And He's going to punish all of them that's oppressing us right now. And if you're not going back to keep these laws, statutes, commandments, when He come to punish them, He's going to punish you too.
Right, you don't want to be an enemy of Israel when the Most High comes.
That's right.
Verse 8. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of thy Elohim and do all His commandments which I command thee this day.
You see, you have to return back. You got to come back, return back to your heritage, return back to your lineage. All right? And return and obey the voice of the Lord. We've completely forgotten that.
That's right. So you got to ditch Easter and keep Passover. You got to kick Christmas to the curb and keep the Feast of Dedication.
That's right. And you got to get into the Word and read it for yourself. That's another thing. A lot of in Christianity, man, you honestly, you got to be honest about it. You hear what the pastor says, and then you shut the book, and that's all you do. There's a lot of you guys out there like that.
I don't understand why.
Get back into this. Get back into the verse. Get back into the Word. Obey and follow, and you'll see the blessings.
I don't understand why y'all keep these holidays and you say we're doing it for the children. That's the most foolish statement ever, because if you kept these holy days and you did it for the children, number one, you restoring their soul, and you keeping them souls from the flames. And on top of that, you're going to have way more holy days than you have these wicked holidays.
That's right.
Way more. And you showing the Most High that you love Him, and you teaching your children to love the Most High by keeping these commandments, by keeping these holy days.
That's right.
We're supposed to keep these feasts.
And that's why it's important to live as an Israelite. Exactly what you mentioned. You're restoring the spirit, restoring that heritage back into your people, so Yahweh can identify you.
And you're refining the culture which was taken from us.
That's right.
We are a nation of desire. It's up to you to rebuild it. It's time to stop being sleeping watchmen.
That's right.
Verse 9. And the Lord Yahweh will make thee plenteous in every work of thine hand, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of the cattle, and in the fruit of the land, for good. For thy Elohim will again rejoice over the good, as he rejoiced over thy fathers. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of thy Elohim Yahweh to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in the book of the law, and if thou turn unto thy Elohim Yahweh with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
Remember, this is a future prophecy, so this is another proof, evidence that the law was not done away with.
That's right. And it says, if thou shalt, meaning if you will, if you would. listen, follow, obey. You know, from the very beginning, it's been about obeying. You know, with Adam and Eve, it's been about obeying the Most High. That's
right.
exactly what Yahushua, who you guys call Jesus, that's exactly what he did. That's how he fulfilled, because he obeyed the word of the Most High. And we got to come back to that.
Verse 11. For this commandment which I command thee this day is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off.
Why is it not far off? Because guess what? It's right here in your hand.
Okay.
It's right here.
And it shouldn't be hard for you to do either. That's another reason why it shouldn't be far off. It shouldn't be hard for you to do. From there, we're going to the book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah, chapter 62, verse 2. The book of Isaiah, chapter 62, verse 2. And the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all kings thy glory. And thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of thy Elohim shall name. Thou shalt also be a crown of glory in the hand of Yahweh, and a royal diadem in the hand of thy Elohim. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land any more be termed desolate. Thou shalt be called Hephzibah, and thy land Beulah. For the Lord delighteth thee, and thy land shall be married. For as young men marry for virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall thy Elohim rejoice over thee.
And Salakia, so this is a feature prophecy also showing how the Most High is going to reverse the lowest people on earth right now, the Israelites, to the greatest people on earth, and they're going to stand out and be illuminated in front of the Gentiles in the kingdom. So it does matter who the Israelites are, because they got you can't understand Bible prophecy if you can't identify who the Israelites are. Because if you think that Khazars are the chosen people of the Most High, these prophecies do not add up already, because they've been brought back to their land already. There really ain't no use for the Most High coming back.
Okay. From there, we're going to go to the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 8 through 11. The book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 8 through 11. And it reads, Behold, the eyes of thy Elohim Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saying that I will not utterly destroy the house of Yahweh, saith thy Elohim.
So the Most High sees all the wicked and wrongness that America is doing, oppressing his chosen people, and there's going to be judgment coming to America, where he's going to destroy it off the face of the earth.
And how he's going to identify who to destroy and who not to destroy is he's going to look to find those individuals who are righteous, which is following the law, statutes, and commandments, and having faith in Yahushua.
That's right.
Verse 9, For lo, I will command, and I will set the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
So he's going to send his angels to go around the nations looking for his chosen people to bring to salvation, give salvation to.
That's right.
But in verse 10,
all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us.
I was going to say, that's why it's so important to identify and know that you're his people. That way you can get yourself right. Take advantage of the grace period that you have right now. And follow the law, statutes, and commandments. and believe in Yahushua.
Can. And it says the sinners of my people, they're going to die by the sword. So if you sitting there and you eating this ham and you still sitting in church and you praise the Most High, you're going to catch the sword. If you sitting there on a Saturday on the Sabbath and you eating crabs and sipping beer, you're going to catch the sword. If your pastor not keeping the beard on his face and teaching you that the fringes should be on your garment, you're going to catch the sword as a sinner.
And I want to bring this out real quick. This is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. It says, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. And if it begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? So the Most High is going to judge his people first before he deals with the other nations.
That's right.
So being an Israelite, you're on the front line of judgment.
So being an Israelite, you need to get yourself right. And that goes for you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Get yourself right, take advantage of this grace period, come back to your heritage, rethink yourself.
That's right. And if you scatter to the four corners of this globe, and you have been awakened and enlightened that this is your culture that you should return back to these customs. Don't put off from day to day.
That's right.
Don't worry about what the next person thinks. Worry about your salvation. Verse 11, the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old.
So he's going to bring Israel back to its greatness, and we know that the greatest time of Israel was around the time of King David and King Solomon. When they was at their peak, they had the military, they had the riches, they was rulers of the world. So the Most High is going to make his people a great nation among the earth again.
Okay. From there, we're going to go to the book of Amos, chapter 3. The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that Yahweh hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I had brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for your iniquities.
That's why, we're out here, we're getting shot and no justice.
That's right.
That's why we're getting robbed, no justice. That's why we're at the lowest of the lowest and no justice, no progression. Again, there's ones and twosies who do, obviously make it out, and you might see that, but as a nation of people in general, it's not happening for us. We don't get justice. We get marches and we get sob stories and this and that. But it's for that reason is that these law, statutes, and commandments came to us. What we said we will do, we did not do, and that's why we're getting cursed for it.
That's right. Oh yeah, they Abiyah said, where they have maybe one or two people that are making a big America props people up to give us all the illusion that we all can make it. Mm-hmm. If we just be good people, we try to do the best we can in the society, but we need more than that. We need the scriptures, the law, statutes, and commandments. So we need to be like the Bereans in Acts chapter 17 and investigate the scriptures for ourselves to see what's being taught is lined up and see what our role is according to the scriptures. We got to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling.
That's right.
And be about our Father's business.
From there, we're going to go to the book of Romans, chapter 7, 12 through 13. The book of Romans, chapter 7, 12 to 13. And it reads, wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. Was then that which is good made death unto me? God forbid. But sin, that it might appear sin, working death in me by that which is good, that sin by the commandment might become exceeding sinful.
Bring 14 out.
Yeah, bring 14.
Verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin.
How were we going to tie that up? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, so it says that the law is holy and the commandment is holy. So if you're speaking against the law, statutes, commandments, you're not sent by the Most High at all.
That's right.
When this is Paul, the person he like to say the law is done away with, is saying the commandment is holy and the commandment is holy, and that the law is spiritual and we're carnal. So that's why we need the law to get ourselves in order, because we're carnal by nature.
That's right.
So how we gonna know for right for wrong if we don't know the law?
It's I want to go into showing how Abraham, Noah, things like that.
This is the last one.
Yeah, so next we go into Jeremiah chapter 40 and show how the Most High raised Jeremiah from the prison house to get an honor by his enemies for being obedient and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Because Jeremiah was the prophet in the southern kingdom of Judah during the Babylonian captivity, where he was being oppressed by his own countrymen for trying to bring them back to the Most High. And he was imprisoned, he was mocked and looked down upon. So we're going to show how the Most High reversed Jeremiah's fortune.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 40, 1 through 5. And it reads, the word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh after that Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, had let him go from Ramah, when he had taken him, being bound in chains among all that were carried away captive of Jerusalem and Judah, which were carried away captive unto Babylon.
So the Nebuzaradan, the guard of Babylon, had to free Jeremiah himself from his countrymen, his own countrymen brothers, and putting him in chains.
And the captain of the guard took Jeremiah and said unto him, Thy Elohim, Yahweh, hath pronounced his evil upon this place. Now thy Elohim hath bought it and done according as he hath said, because ye have sinned against thy Elohim and have not obeyed his voice. Therefore this thing is come upon thee.
That's a shame. The Most High had to use a heathen to pronounce his judgment on his chosen people, to pronounce the judgment, because Israel was going, or the southern kingdom was going off so bad.
Verse 4, And now behold, I loose thee this day from the chains which were upon thine hand. If it seem good unto thee to come with me into Babylon, come, and I will look well unto thee.
So if you want to come to Babylon, come on, I'll look out for you. I'll take care of you, bro.
But if it seem ill unto thee to come with me into Babylon, forbear. Behold, all the land is before thee, whether it seemeth good and convenient for thee to go thither, go.
So if you want to stay, it's all good, brother. You can stay to your choice. So while they was deporting the other Israelites into Babylon, Jeremiah had the opportunity, this choice, if he wanted to come and live good, or if he wanted to stay in the land. That's how the Most High blessed him for being faithful and obedient to him.
Verse 5. Now while he was not yet gone back, he said, Go back also to Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, whom the king of Babylon had made governor over the cities of Judah, and dwell with him among the people, or go wheresoever it seemeth convenient unto thee to go. So the captain of the guard gave him victuals and a reward, and let him go.
Wow, so the captain of the guard blessed Jeremiah while they was punishing his other brethren for being wicked. He blessed Jeremiah, left him with a reward in substance.
You see, the benefit of following the law, statutes, and commandments. This guy, Jeremiah, he was, I don't know what they were going to do to this man. They've taken the rest of his people, and they had him in chains, and because of the grace of Yahweh, and him being faithful, he was let free and rewarded for it.
Let alone that, this is a prime example of Jeremiah keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, being a righteous man in a captivity. He being he's living outside of the curses because he's keeping the commandments of the Most High. That's the benefit of keeping the commandments and living in Israel and recognizing that you are an Israelite outside living in the captivity. Because if you doing the same things, you living outside of the curses.
That's right.
And also, it seems hopeless or meaningless to try to keep the law, statutes, and commandments because the majority of people disregard the law, statutes, and commandments. But you don't know how what the Most High is going to do for you. You don't know how He's going to bless you or who He's going to send to bless you.
Okay.
So the Most High rewarded Jeremiah for his faithfulness while he punished the others, like King Zedekiah. He put the Babylonians, when they conquered Jerusalem, he put his eyes out and killed his sons right in front of him, and deported thousands of Jeremiah's fellow brethren. So it pays to be faithful and obedient to the Most High, even when it seems hopeless. That's not worth it.
From there, we're going to go to the book of Baruch, chapter 4, 1 through 8. The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1 through 8. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endure forever.
How long is forever?
For this is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endure forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
And that's what we have right now. We have a lot of individuals in other religions that think that they are alive. They're not alive because they're turning away from these laws, statutes, and commandments. They're good people, according to man. They might be good people, but according to the Word of God, we're not. So we're not alive. We're spiritually dead. We're just going through the motions at these churches and things like that.
Yeah.
And according to this, if you leave from the law, statutes, and commandments, if you leave from this Bible and you're doing opposite stuff of this, then you're dead.
Verse 2.
You should die.
Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
That's right. You're a light to the world. If you take heed to this word, and it says, O Jacob, that's you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans.
That's right.
Verse 3. Give not thine honor to another, nor things that are probable unto a strange nation.
That's right.
That's participating in all these other customs and stuff like that.
That's right.
O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us.
That's right, you Israelites, you coming back to this word, you're coming back to life. Guess what? You're learning that what pleases Him is what is being known to us. Is that we need to follow these holy days, not the holidays.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's being known to us. That we need to follow these laws, statutes, commandments. Guess what? That's being revealed to us. That's being known to us. All right.
Verse 5. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel.
That's right.
Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved God to wrath. Ye were delivered unto our enemies.
And guess what? This aligns up with Deuteronomy 28 and the curses of the Israelites. Who are you? You were if you go into history, modern history, you will see that the only people that were given to another nation on such a large scale of, when we talk about nations of people, we're not talking about thousands, we're talking about millions. It was only the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans. You can't. It's being revealed to us. They're even taking down statues nowadays for this type of stuff.
That's right.
you can't hide from it no more. And you guys want to identify as Gentiles, so you don't think you have to follow these. But in a few, we're going to show you that even the Gentiles who sojourned or even was involved with the Hebrews or the Israelites, they had to follow these as well. And you got to follow them as well. Let's go.
For ye provoked him that made you by sacrifices unto devils, and not to Yahweh.
That's right.
Stay away from those holidays.
Stay away.
Ye have forgotten the everlasting Elohim that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you.
That's right.
For when she saw the wrath of God coming upon you, she said, Hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion, God hath brought upon me great mourning.
That's right.
For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them.
Keep going.
With joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning.
That's right.
Let no man rejoice over me, a widow and forsaken of many, who for the sins of my children am left desolate, because they departed from the law of Yahweh.
That's exactly what we're doing in this day and time. We're departing from the law of Yahweh, because you got you got pastors out there and so-called teachers out there bringing verses that supposedly mean that the law is done away with, or the word fulfill means done away with or destroy the law. It's mind blowing. So we talked about. Do you want to touch another one, or you want to go into this now?
Oh, okay, the other nation's responsibility then.
Well, not the other nations, but we want to talk about you Israelites who want to claim to be Gentiles.
Right.
That you still, even if you claim it to be a Gentile, you still got to live according to this law, according to this word. And you would have to get your instruction in your you have to be under the authority of an Israelite. Is that
Right,
true?
right. You can't ignore Most High's chosen people and expect to get a pass into the kingdom.
That's right. And just like we read earlier, when we read Revelation 21 and 12, the kingdom of heaven, the new kingdom of heaven, is only going to have 12 gates with 12 names, and there's the 12 tribes of Israel. So you got to wake up, remember who you are, and if you're claiming to be a Gentile, you need to figure out.
26.
You need to figure out something, because there's no Gentile gate to the new heaven, man.
From there, we're going to go to the book of Genesis, chapter 26, verse 5.
We want to talk about an individual, our forefather, Abraham. And we want to show you that even Abraham was not an Israelite, but he was a Hebrew.
But he's of the lineage.
And
He's of the lineage. Abraham,
Exactly.
Isaac, Jacob. So our lineage as Hebrews, it goes back to Abraham.
That's right.
Okay?
And we want to show you that he even lived by the law, statutes, and commandments. Because there's another misinterpretation that this man was just a man of faith. You know what I'm saying? The way he showed faith was by being obedient.
Okay.
And let's prove that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 26, verse 5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws.
He did what?
Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws.
That's right. See, he wasn't just a father of faith.
Right.
He was a father of faith because of his actions.
Okay.
You guys, society has taught us that love is a feeling. It's feeling, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's really not. It's really action. And that's how he was showing faith to the Most High, because he was doing. He was taking action. He was following these law, statutes, and commandments. And he had faith in the Lord who was talking to him directly.
And we know that James 2 says faith without works is dead. So faith is more than just a theological thought.
So even if you...
Right, where you just believe in the Most High and Christ died on the cross, it's much deeper than that.
You so-called want to be Gentiles, Gotta follow these law, statutes, and commandments and keep the faith in Yahweh Shai, just like Abraham did.
And I want to bring this out too in Sirach chapter 44, verse 19. This is another witness about Abraham.
Bring it out!
This is Sirach 44:19. Abraham was a great father of many people. In glory was there none like unto him, who kept the Torah of the Most High, and was in covenant with him. He established the covenant in his flesh with the circumcision, and when he was proved, he was found faithful.
That's right.
That's another testimony about Abraham being a doer.
And why he was found faithful? Because he was doing. And that's what we need to do. Now, here's another thing you got to get away from. Doing is not just going to the church and praying and you know, doing 30-minute prayers and having, you know, this whole showcase. You know what I'm saying? For real though, right?
Exactly.
Doing is going into this word and following the law, statutes, and commandments. Going into this word and following and doing the feast, the holy feast. Wearing the clothes that he, you know, appropriate attire
I was about to say
that he told us to wear. That's what's doing. That's the doing. You know what I mean? That's the doing part.
How you a woman and you going to church with ill-modest clothing on and think that you going and giving praise to the Most High of the Bible? That makes no sense.
No sense.
I just seen a couple videos this past weekend and it was just a shame. Like, it was a couple women, they was damn near wearing lingerie, singing praise songs. Like, what type of foolishness is that?
Real talk. You gotta do.
How you think you serving the Most High doing that? You like you serving Ashtoreth.
That's right.
They might as well put the pole up in the middle of the church. What God you serving? What God is good to you?
That's a good question.
Yeah, if you got faith in the Most High, you'll come out of these Christian churches.
That's right. We want to go to another individual, another one of our forefathers that falls in our lineage is Noah. And why we're bringing this out, because this goes before the Israelites. And it shows that even they weren't called Israelites, they were still keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, and they were still considered faithful.
It's the lineage of Shem, pretty much.
Exactly, our lineage.
Well, Noah was chosen out of all the people from the lineage of Adam. From Adam on down to Noah, from Noah on down to Shem, from Shem on down to Isaac. No.
Is it Abraham, Isaac, Joseph? So goes from all the way to Abraham, right?
Well, we're going to show you people according to the lineage, the holy lineage was continuing to keep the commandments.
That's right. Genesis 6:9.
Sorry, I'm not that much of an eloquent speaker, but if you watch our videos, you know that.
That's right. You're the man. 6 and 9.
The book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 9. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation, and Noah walked with God.
That's right. He walked with Yah, and he was perfect. Now, in this time frame, you can argue the fact that you still don't know what perfect is considered, but you know, Yahweh ends up showing us how to be perfect, and the way to be perfect is following these laws, statutes, and commandments, and believing in Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Okay.
So he ends up teaching us that. And these are individuals who are not considered Israelites. We call ourselves Israelites because we're in this time and frame. You know, these were our forefathers. This is how we became, and this is how the lineage ended up coming to us as Israelites, and this is why we still adopt what these Hebrews were learning and doing and following.
Okay.
So then what we got?
From there, we're going to go to the book of Numbers, chapter 15, 14 through 16. The book of Numbers, chapter 15.
Yeah.
14 through 16. And if a stranger sojourn with you, or whosoever be among you in your generations, and will offer an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yahweh, as ye do, so he shall do one ordinance shall be both for you of the congregation and also for the stranger that sojourneth with you. An ordinance forever in your generations as ye are. So shall the stranger be before Yahweh.
Okay.
That's right.
One law and one manner shall be for you and for the stranger that sojourneth with you.
And what this means that even if you want to consider yourself a Gentile, which is outside of a stranger, then you still have to. There's a law for you that you have to follow, and that that law comes from the Israelites. So meaning, if you want to call yourself a Gentile, you still got to live as an Israelite. Follow these law, statutes, and commandments that were given from Yah himself to Moses. And he said, give this to the children of Israel. And you are the children of Israel. You just don't know it, or you know it and you don't want to accept it. But you got to come back and follow these law, statutes, and commandments and have faith in Yahushua.
And I like to say that it's common sense also. I mean, we know that pork is bad for the Israelites, but it can do damage to a heathen, to a heathen's body also. And we know that it's wrong for an Israelite to kill. It's wrong for a heathen to kill also. So it's common sense. Nobody should be stealing from each other, no matter what nationality you are. So these laws are for your benefit also, heathen, not just the Israelites.
From there, we're going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 2 through 3. The book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 2 through 3. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
And we know that mountain represents the government. So in the last days, when the Most High brings Esau down and raises up Jacob, all the nations going to have to come to the government of Jacob to learn about the Most High.
That's right.
Okay. Verse 3. And many shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of Yahweh of Jacob.
That's right.
And he will teach us of his ways.
Yep.
And we will walk in his paths.
That's right.
For out of Zion shall go forth the law.
That's right.
And the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem.
That's right. So
That's
what were you gonna say?
Yeah, so that's there shows you that the nation should be coming to us and learning from us as Israelites. That's why it's important for you to learn who you are as Israelites as well.
That's
you shouldn't be going to these heathen pastors
Yep.
trying to learn the law and trying to learn about yourself, because simply they're not going to teach you.
Yep.
They're not capable of teaching.
Can. Thus saith the Lord, and we just read it right there.
Yep. That's right.
If for you gainsayers, show me a prophecy where there's going to be a Christian church in the kingdom. A Baptist church, a Pentecostal church in the kingdom. The Seventh-day Adventist church, you're not going to find it nowhere in the scriptures.
Show me where it's going to be a mosque in the kingdom.
Yep.
Where's the mosque at? Where's the Buddhist temple at in the kingdom?
Or Muhammad's at the gates to greet you to come into the kingdom.
Show me the spot where we're going to throw rocks in the cobblestone.
That's bugged out. That's good. Woo! That's some good stuff.
Got to get in these scriptures. Got to
Gotta get into it, man. You gotta identify yourself. You gotta know who you are.
That's right.
You know,
it's very, very important that you remember who you are, because you are the leadership of this world. You were meant to be the rules, not fools.
That's right.
And let me bring out this passage in Zechariah 14 also, showing that all the nations are going to have to keep the laws in the kingdom.
Bring it out.
It's Zechariah chapter 14, verse 16. It says, and it shall come to pass that everyone, Salakia. Let me start at verse 14. Zechariah 14:14 says, and Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel and great abundance. So we're going to get our reparations at the end when the Most High comes back. You know, America's not going to give us our reparations for the 400 or 500 years of slavery we put in this country. But it's going to come at the second coming.
Yeah.
And so shall be the plague of the horse, of the mule, the camel, and the ass, and of all the beasts shall be in these tents as this plague. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which come against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King of Yahweh of hosts. and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King Yahweh of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague, wherewith Yahweh will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
So go ahead.
Yeah, so you gotta, so heathen got a responsibility to start learning these law, statutes, commandments if you want to survive and have a place in the new kingdom also.
Not only that, you gotta learn to accept us as the children of Israel.
Exactly.
You gotta recognize us as God's chosen people. We didn't set us up like this. The Most High set us up like this.
That's right.
This ain't no hate doctrine. This is a truth doctrine. We trying to reestablish who we are. We are people who have our culture stricken from us.
Completely.
This is a captivity where a lot of us don't know who we are. And some of y'all do know who we are, but still won't admit it.
That's right.
And look up.
Y'all want to keep perpetrating a lie. To keep this crafty council going so that y'all will still be at the top. So that we are at the bottom.
Yep.
So that y'all can orchestrate the madness that's going on in our communities.
Look up Colonel Richard Pratt. Colonel Richard Pratt, he has a famous quote for saying, save the man, kill the Indian. He was the individual who thought of the idea of education, the education system, where he would take so-called Native Americans, take them away from the families as kids, and train them up in the European style of living. And that was kill, save the man, but kill the Indian, kill his heritage. And that's happened to the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and the so-called Native Americans. Check it out. This is real stuff, man. Real stuff. I think we said you wanted to finish it with that, right?
Con. Alright, we're gonna finish it off with this, Israel. We're gonna go to 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 31 through 50. The book of 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 41 through 50, and it reads, Moreover, concerning a stranger that is not of thy people, Israel, but cometh out of a far country for thy name's sake. For they shall hear of thy great name, and of thy strong hand, and of thy stretched out arm, when he shall come and pray toward this house. Hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and do according to all that the stranger calleth to thee for, that all people of the earth may know thy name, Salakia, to fear thee, as do thy people Israel, and that they may know that this house which I have builded is called by my name.
That's right.
If thy people go out to battle against their enemy, whithersoever thou shalt send them, and shalt pray unto Yahweh toward the city which thou hast chosen, and toward the house that I have built for thy name, then hear thou in heaven their prayer and their supplication, and maintain their cause.
Again, you gotta come back. You gotta return back to your heritage, to who you are.
If they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not, and thou be angry with them, and deliver them to the enemy.
That happened.
So that they carry them away captives unto the land of the enemy, far or near.
That has happened.
Verse 47. Yet if they shall bethink themselves, if they in the land whither they were carried captives, and repent,
that's right,
and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carry them captives, saying, We have sinned and have done perversely, we have committed wickedness. Verse 48. And so return unto thee with all their heart, and with all their soul, and the captive, and pray unto thee toward their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place, and maintain their cause.
That's right.
And forgive thy people that have sinned against thee, and all their transgressions wherein they have transgressed against thee, and give them compassion before them who carry them captive, that they may have compassion on them.
That's right. See, you gotta, it says to bethink yourself, to rethink yourself. If we do this, Yahweh will listen to our prayers. And then he's asking to have compassion for us, because now we know who we are. We said we have sinned. We're what is the word? We are when you bring it up to the Lord, you confess. We confess that we've sinned and that we've committed wickedness. He'll listen to us, have compassion on us. You gotta come back to who you are, and follow these laws, statutes, commandments, and believe in Yahweh Shai.
And also in chapter 40 or verses 41 and 43 is real powerful too, where King Solomon's prayers asking the Most High to hear the requests of the strangers also that cling on to Israel, that keep the law, statutes, and commandments also. So some strangers can get in good with come to the Most High also. Which can be often overlooked. So even though one identify as Israelite, like Abiyah said, you still have a responsibility if you still claim to believe in the Most High to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, so you be in good graces with Yahweh.
So it's very, very important that we go back to these laws so that we can be seen as a light to the Gentiles. Because it's still your responsibility to show them who you are so that God's glorious light shine through you.
That's right.
Like I said, it's very, very important for us to identify as Israelites. It's very, very important for us to go back to these law, statutes, commandments, because we need to be spared, man. We're amongst our enemies, and these people, they showing us that they hate us. They doing each and everything to us. They killing us. They poisoning the food. They putting stuff in the water. They pushing homosexuality on our children. And it's time to get up on out of here.
We can't get no justice in the court systems either.
That's right. You just saw what happened with Bill Cosby. How come Donald Trump ain't in jail?
That's right.
Or Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
No justice.
Charlie Sheen knowingly gave people HIV.
Yeah.
And he ain't in jail. He out walking around.
He should have been locked up.
It was a producer. I can't even remember his name. He was a pedophile. And
Romanowski.
Yeah, that's his name, Romanowski. And he went out the country and they ain't even went to go get him. He's still working as a producer.
Wow.
But Bill Cosby in jail with some women who knowingly went back to a room with a married man to turn up. And he told me all these women after all these years, nobody knew that he was disappearing with these women. Like, come on, man.
And then he got 30 years.
He got 30 years for this. It makes no sense.
And it shows you, as an Israelite, no matter how much money, how much power, influence you have, you cannot escape these curses.
That's right.
Or being persecuted by your enemies. So we need to trust in the Most High more than in our wealth. Because this wealth doesn't mean nothing if you're an Israelite. You can lose it in an instant.
Really?
You can lose your freedom in an instant. There's no salvation at all in America for us.
Okay.
Listen, go to Revelations 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. We already told you the gates, the 12 gates with the 12 names, and the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. Bethink yourself, remember who you are, and Yahweh is revealing this in you. There's got to be something in you that's saying, yo, this ain't right. There's got to be more. I'm missing something. We had a brother here today that said that he said he was going through, church and into the, Christianity church, and he felt it. He's like, something's wrong. But when he heard this word the correct way, being taught by the elders, it said it clicked for him.
He said the church had him to the point where he didn't even believe. That's how much confusion is in the Christian church. It had him to the point where he don't even believe. but he was flipping through the YouTube channel and he seen some brothers out there preaching the truth.
Yeah.
Just prophesying to the wind so that the dry bones could live, and they done woke him up. They done planted the seed, Yahweh done watered him. All
Clicked.
praises.
And it clicked. All praises
And it
to the
clicked.
Most High. We gotta do. Love is an action. It's not a feely. It's a good question for you. How do you love God?
You can't reach up, hug, and kiss
You
him.
can't hug him and kiss him and feel, make him feel good or, feel, there's no way. Throughout this whole thing, he asked for obedience. He commanded, you either do or you don't. And what happened? What's the story with homeboy that he said to go somewhere, and he was in the water and he got swallowed by the whale because he didn't want. By Jonah. Yeah.
Right.
It's all about doing your actions and believing in Yahweh Shai. That's a key. That's very important. We do talk about following these law, statutes, and commandments all the time, but it's very important to understand that you have to have faith in Yahweh Shai.
Come.
You have to have faith in Yahweh Shai and follow these laws. With that,
Israel, we want to say thank you for watching, yo, and we want to say tune in, Rise the Chosen.
That's right.
Truth Beyond the Surface Temple. You can hit us up on the brother Mikael's channel, Mikael7, Rise the Chosen, Truth Beyond the Surface Temple. You can watch this video and all of our previous lessons for edifying purposes, or if you just want to turn your family onto this truth and share these videos with them. We would like to ask you to share the videos all throughout Facebook and all through the internet to help get this word out in the name of Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai, so that we can bring our people back to this truth, so that we can have this kingdom, so that we will be the head and not the tail. Because right now we the tail, y'all. Y'all see what's going on.
Yeah.
We want to give a shout out. We want to give a shout out.
A bunch of people. We got Mr. Mark Daniels. Shalom.
Shalom. Brother Pablo Livingston.
Shalom.
Harold Burris.
Shalom.
Sister Natora LeCompte.
That's right.
Nazir Cayeno.
That's right.
And
Nekahi Yah Yisrael.
Brother Anton Farr.
That's
Shalom.
right. Shalom.
Brother John Marion.
Shalom.
Sister Raina Yah.
Yeah.
Shalom.
And Brother Azariah, come back over here and get back with us, yo.
That's right.
Come back here, hold fort, yo. We need you here, brother.
Shalom.
Shalom.
What's good?
What's good?
What's good, man? We miss you, man. We know you work a lot, but come back and sit at this table with us. And with that, one more time, we want to give all praise, glory, honor to the Most High Yahweh, and the name of His Son Yahweh Shai, and Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered abroad. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Kum Yisrael!
Kum Yisrael!
Kum Yisrael!